I've been to a lot of BNI meetings, and just last week I was talking with our local Chamber of Commerce, and a lot of the web designers that I coach also go to BNI meetings and so forth. So naturally it comes up, what should you say in your 30-second elevator pitch at a BNI meeting? Because a lot of them are boring, and boring pitches don't really get you referrals. So let's do three things. I'll kind of read through kind of like a vanilla, boring elevator pitch, and we'll kind of talk about why it's boring. Then I'll give you a 7-question formula for how I've been creating our elevator pitches that's much more engaging and gets you many more leads than just kind of the plain Jane vanilla version. And then I'll give you like a live example of how to use the answers and the data that you collected from the formula in like a real world, really nice BNI 30-second elevator pitch. All right, so let's kind of jump into it. Here's like the vanilla boring version. Hi, my name is Lee Blue, and I'm with Blue Media Web Design. We do web design, graphic design, logos and branding, social media, as well as print marketing and signage. We offer complimentary estimates for all website and digital marketing projects. We also offer free website and SEO audits. You'll get a modern and responsive website from a company that cares about growing your business. And then there's the pitch, right? So what's wrong with a pitch like that? Well, right off the bat, it's boring, right? It's like, these meetings are like early in the morning and like you're halfway asleep anyway. And then by the time everybody does their thing, it's like you're almost entirely asleep. It's like, it's not even a pitch. It's like a lob. I mean, it's not even a lob. It's like, just drop the ball. I mean, it's so uninspiring. And like the best case scenario is someone's going to come away thinking, oh, well, that's the web person over there. So what can we do to make it better? Well, first of all, we need context. So there's no context in this kind of vanilla version of a 30-second pitch. Like there's nothing about like who it's for, and there's no problem or pain point that's really being addressed. There's no outcome or there's no result that people get. There's no differentiator as to like why is a website with you better than a website with somebody else. There's no call to action. I mean, I guess maybe there's an implied call to action of like, hey, we'll give you a free site audit, but there's no like, what am I going to do with the site audit? There's no reason to take the action, and there's no story. It's like if there's no story, there's not going to be any feelings, and if there's no feelings, people won't remember the words that you say. They remember how you made them feel when you said it, and if there's no feelings, then it's entirely forgettable, and that's why these kind of vanilla, boring BNI pitches don't generate the referrals that you probably want from the meeting. So here's a 7-question formula that I've been using for years that generates far more leads and much more interest from these networking events, especially like BNI groups. So all of the questions and everything are in the description, so you don't have to like write them all down. You can just kind of go down there and copy and paste. But let's go through them real quick anyway. So number one, it's like, what problem do people have that you can help them solve? Like start out with a problem. And so like kind of jot down like what is that problem? Number two is how do people feel when they have the problem? So you want to immediately start tapping into the feelings because that's what people are going to remember. Number three is what thing do you have that solves the problem? And this is one of those things where it's like, this is like such an important thing for me. It's like, it's fine to have the traditional consulting branch of your business where you have a discovery call and figure out some kind of strategy and then kind of implement out that strategy together and stuff. Like it's fine to have that, but also have a solution-first agency component to your business, like a productized set of your services that produces a result for people. And the reason that you want that is not just for the sake of having it, but it generates a lot more leads for you. And here's why. It's like if someone's going to hire over here for the consulting thing, especially with an elevator pitch like we just read about, the only reason you really get clients from that is because people already trust you. And so you're leveraging like this personal relationship aspect of your business, like your fame or something like that. And so when people, it's like your friends, your family, referrals, it's like just people that know you. But if you have a solution-first agency that is like a system that solves a problem, then people don't hire you just to get access to you personally. They hire you to get access to the solution that your system creates for them, right? So there's a lot more people that have the problem of like needing leads, for example, than there are people who know you personally. And so if you've got a product that generates leads for people, there's going to be a lot more people that hire you to solve that lead generation problem in their business than there would be people that just know you personally. And that's why you get so many more leads by having the solution-first agency than you would just by leveraging relationships. So I'm going to put a link in the description, but if that makes sense, go ahead and give me a thumbs up so that I know that you're following along with me. Plus, that also helps more people discover the video, so thank you for doing that. But I'm going to put a link in the description so you can have like a free 40-minute workshop on how to build a solution-first agency. But there's that. So back to the 7-question formula. Number 4 is, why does your solution-first agency work? Like, why does that productized version of your system work? So not what services go into it, but like, why do you do the services in the first place? And if you talk about that, people will be like, oh yeah, that really makes some sense. You kind of create a narrative around why your system works. It's the story, and that brings out the feelings, which means people will remember, and that's why you get the leads. And then number 5 is, who do you want to respond to your offer? And so you want to have like a little bit of targeting in there. And then number 6 is going to be, what should they actually do? And then number 7 is, how do they actually do it? So like, what's the call to action, and how do I actually implement that? Like, how do I actually do the call to action? So make sure that's very clear what the next steps are. Okay. So here's one other point, by the way. When you're doing the solution first agency thing, name the product something. Like name the agency with a name, like a noun, like the click flow or something like that. Like if you're thinking, well, I'm going to get traffic, I'm going to convert the traffic to leads, the leads come into clients, paying customers, and that's like a flow of clicks until you make money out of it and land clients and stuff. So you could call your product the click flow, as opposed to just like a random list of services. Because when you name something, it really brings it to life, both for you and your clients. Because for you, it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Why am I going to do it? Let's give it a name that kind of represents that, and it brings it to life for you. And for your clients, you're like, oh, well, this guy really invented something that's really cool here. So that's just a bonus tip. Let's go through and read the good example now that's kind of taking that information and turning it into a really nice 30-second BNI elevator pitch. So here it goes. Isn't it crazy how hard it is to get leads for a genuinely good local business? It feels like you have to do everything all the time. Build relationships, work on your website, deal with social media. I'm Lee Blue, and I have a done-for-you lead generation system for local professionals called the ClickFlow. The ClickFlow drives traffic, collects leads, and nurtures your leads into paying clients, all without you having to do anything. If you need more leads, but already feel stretched so thin you might snap, we should talk. I'm Lee Blue, and you can reach me at theclickflow.com. So that's the pitch. But do you see how it's like there's stories, there's like, how do you feel? There's a problem that's being solved. Like all those 7 questions that we hit, all the way down to what you should do and how you should do it, is bundled into this new elevator pitch. A couple of quick bonus tips behind things kind of going on behind the scenes here. One of them is you introduce yourself last. Like most people introduce themselves as the first thing that they say. They say what their name is, what their business is, and then they start talking about the business. But the problem with that is nobody cares yet. You haven't given them the context and the problem and the feelings and all that other stuff yet. And so then at the end, they're like, well, who is that person? Like, can you say your name again? And then your 30 seconds is up. So if you do it this other way, you're kind of introducing yourself twice. You introduce yourself in the middle. You say like who you are and that you've created this productized system that generates leads. And then at the end, you also say your name again in the call to action when you're saying, hey, if you feel stretched so thin that you might snap, we should talk. I'm Lee Blue. Here's my website. So that's an interesting point, like introducing yourself at the end. The second thing is the entire pitch is about the client. Like even when you're talking about yourself, you're actually still talking about the client. Like you're telling people why you have the expertise and the authority to actually solve the problem and why your system works, right? So it's not about you, it's about why you're able to help them. So you're always keeping the spotlight on the audience, on the client. And number 3 is, since people very easily forget the words that you say, there's such a strong emphasis on feelings. And the feelings are actually, in this particular pitch, are designed to target your audience, right? So it's like if you feel stretched so thin that you might snap and you couldn't possibly do all this marketing yourself, that's a really good client. Because if it's somebody that's just got, more time than money and it's a side hustle and they'll just do the marketing themselves, that's probably not going to be a good fit. So you want somebody that has at least somewhat of an established business that's keeping them busy, because that's the type of clients that are going to be most likely to want your help, especially if it's for high-ticket online marketing and stuff. So there's a little bit of targeting that's going on based on like the feelings and the emotions of the type of person that you want to attract. Okay, so that's kind of a really good formula. Check the description. You'll see all the questions and everything there. It'd be great if you took this and implemented it and did it at BNI, then came back and left a comment and let me know how it goes. But here's the last thing. What happens when they get to your website, right? Because the whole call to action is, go to my website, go to theclickflow.com. I don't own that domain name. It's just I'm not associated with that in any way. I don't even know if anyone does. But just go to that website. But here's the thing. What are they going to see when they get to your website? So I've reviewed hundreds of websites for web designers, and I've compiled a list of like the top 5 marketing mistakes that I see on a lot of web designers' websites. So check out this next video, and I'll show you that list. Okay, I'll see you over there.